So in my inner circle call today, one of the members had a question about working a trade show. Actually, I answered an unasked question because he said he was going at the end of this week, and I said, "What's your plan to work the floor?" He's just attending. It's an hour away down in San Diego. So we got to talking, and I asked him, "Does he have an Apple Watch? A digital watch?" He says, "No, I have a phone." All right, so he's being a smartass. I don't know where he got that from. But what I do it on my computers here. I do it with my watch. I will set 15-minute timers. And then they just go off repeatedly. And they're on buzz, right? They're on silent. But every 15 minutes, it just keeps me aware of my time. But I told him do that. He can do it with his phone. And in this case, it might work even better. But after the call, he messaged me here on Facebook. I've got some notes here from our conversation. Because I was saying, when you're at an event, you shouldn't spend more than like 5 to 7 minutes with anyone. You're there to meet people. You're there to disqualify prospects. Now, at a trade show like this, I might be a little more open, a little less discerning, if you will. Let's get some names. Let's get some contacts. Okay. Let's get business cards. Let's get them to opt into something. And then we'll sort them out later. But I told him you should be spending no more than 5 to 7 minutes, get somebody's card, and move on. And so towards the end of the day, he messaged me, he says, "Hey, I'm curious, the timer idea, 5 to 7 minutes per conversation." Oh, yeah, ideally, and I said, because people, they attend trade shows, they attend Chamber of Commerce functions, meetups, whatever, and they don't know anybody, and people are nervous. They hate public speaking. Oh, I'm terrible with names. So you say all this stuff, and it all comes true. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm saying have a plan, have a goal. So he's going there for 3 days. Now, the third day is only a half day, and then they're going out. I think they're playing pickleball. Going out drinking, pickleball, whatever. And I said, you may make more contacts at that event than in the previous 2.5 days of the formal conference. And here's what I mean. You need to be working the floor, right? But again, I'll go back. Most people don't have a goal. They don't have plans. For this 2.5, 3-day event, and it's like thousands of people, he should have a goal to get at least 100 names. And not just names, right? Contact information on 100 people. So that's 30, 33 a day, and maybe make a game out of it. Say, hey, can I get 50 on day 1 and day 2? Can I get 50 or 100 at the social event? So, look, you can play with it, but the point is to have goals and then have a plan to fulfill it. So with the timer, what I mean by that, as he walks up and says hi to people, and I recommend he even get a t-shirt with something like with a catchphrase, get people asking him, hey, what does that mean? And I don't want to say the industry, you could put 2 and 2 together with the timing, but come up with something to break the ice. Okay. And then when you're talking with people, you want to quickly get down to the gist of things. Hey, why are you here? What are you hoping to get out of this? Tell me about your business. And then have some questions, say, what, I think, we might be able to work together. Do you have a card? Okay. Get their info. And I got to tell them, I carry a Sharpie, always a couple of Sharpies. This is a Sharpie pen, like, just for writing. This is a traditional, fatter Sharpie to mark something up. But these especially are good for glossy business cards. And you can make some quick notes as they step away. Now, I've been in the marketing automation space for a long time. I have forms on my phone, on the home screen. So if somebody says, hey, well, I don't have a business card, say, oh, that's all right. I'll hand them my phone, say, just enter your info in right here. And I will pre-build the sequence. So in this case, it's San Diego. It's a certain conference, a certain date. I will put a delay timer in there of about 15 minutes. That will send an email. Hey, Joe, great meeting you at the blank conference in San Diego. Have a great trip. I hope the conference is great for you. Safe travels. I'll be in touch next week when things settle down. So now they've met you in person. They've got an email from you. If it's appropriate, you can text them, but they get that. And then it gives me a task a week later to reach out. So that becomes the third touch. And then there's an email that goes in with that if I miss them. But you need to have a process in place that you can work the room. Okay. And with the timer, so the reason the timer on his phone works out is because it's easy to get caught up. You meet somebody, there's friendly, you don't know how to disengage. So if the phone vibrates, you can look at it and go, hey, you know what? I mean, assuming you've gotten their info, and even if you haven't, this could be the push to get it. Say, hey, I'm heading off to a meeting. I'm heading off to meet somebody. I'm meeting a client for coffee. I'm meeting a client for lunch, whatever. I've got to grab one of my coworkers. We've got to hop on a quick conference call. May I get your info real quick? And I'll be in touch. So normally, having on the watch, the subtle buzz, and I just hit repeat. So all throughout the day, I'm reminded to be efficient, pay attention to time. But the phone could be a good segue for him. And that'll give you a way to break away. And again, it's good because look, you might meet somebody you truly like, and then you want to let your hair down. You've been grinding away at the office. We've had 4 years of COVID and work from home, hybrid, blah, blah, blah. This may be the first event you've been to in a while or even in years. It's easy to, we're tribal social creatures. You may want to meet these people, hang out. Hey, let's go get a drink. You are not there to make friends and to get drunk. Okay, work the room. Now, let's say you set a goal of 30 or 50 or 70 and you hit that goal. Okay, maybe you find someone you like. Now, all right, go hang out and celebrate, see what happens. Because you may meet other people that way. So I'm not saying be a total stiff, but if you haven't hit your goals, disengage. If you like them, so I gotta go take care of something. So now you're not lying. You do have to take care of something. Yeah, you got to get more leads. Say, but I'd love to catch up tonight. Do you have dinner plans? You want to meet for happy hour? Great. Hey, I'll text you, blah, blah, blah. Move on. So, but by having this pre-built, having some type of opt-in form, some type of drip sequence, send your contact info, send you a task to follow up, carry your Sharpie, because when you meet these folks, make a quick note about what is interesting about them. Maybe where they're from, the company they work with, maybe you have a friend in common, whatever. Jot some notes, because when you start looking at these cards several days later, you might start to forget these people. But if you can personalize your follow-up, it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so make some notes somehow on that card or in a notebook so you can be efficient with your follow-up. Most people are not going to be that efficient. Even people that get a booth won't be this precise, this specific in their networking and in their following up. Okay, so have this all planned out, mapped out, and look, of course you can give out your card, but that's not the objective. The goal is for you to get their cards. Now, should you approach exhibitors, with the purpose of seeing if they are a prospect? And, that is a little iffy. They're paying money to meet others. If they are busy, I would not interrupt them. They're there to sell. They're making their own connections. Okay. But if there's a lull, maybe there's a keynote speaker, everybody's, watching the speaker and a few guys are sitting back at the booth. And you see that all the time. Maybe it's their time to catch up. A lot of times it's their time to relax and unwind. They're hungover. They're catching up on emails, but hell, they'll do it when they're busy, but I digress. So if nobody's at the booth, if, they got one person at the booth, they got 3 or 4, they're working the booth. If somebody that's free, okay, you can go chat them up for a few minutes, but be honest what you're doing, why you're there. You're trying to see if there's an angle for y'all to do some business. Who's the right person to talk to? A lot of times the key individual may not be working a trade show booth, but if it's a small company and you target these small companies, the owner, founder, CEO, whatever, could be there. They may be maybe not working the booth, but maybe they're at the event. So you meet salesperson, you meet a director, and they go, "Oh, it's Joe Smith," and a lot of times they'll have his card sitting out, on the desk there at the display. So grab that info, um, get some intel on who you should work with, who you should follow up with, and then get out of the way. Right, that should be a 3-minute conversation. So if you can work a vendor that way, then knock yourself out. I mean, I do it all the time, but I'm not going to take up their time. And then at the social, same thing. Eat some food before you go. You don't want to show up starving. Then you're in line, trying to get some finger food, some salami, whatever. Then you get food stuck in your teeth. And don't go there to drink. Okay, it's nothing good happens after midnight, right? And pounding drinks at 8 p.m. leads to nothing good happening at midnight. So, and look, if you can control yourself, fine. Have one, be a little bit social. But when you've got a food or drink in your hand, it's hard to take notes. It's hard to hand your phone over, pull out your business card, get their card, make a note, right? So be smart about it. Yes, maybe you have one drink to sip on to be sociable, but pace yourself. They are there to party and unwind. Fine. Let them. That alcohol will loosen their lips. You can get some intel. Okay. So, and again, your goal maybe you have 2 goals, get 50 names a day. But that's during the day. Have a goal to get 20 names at night. So 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., you can get some good leads if you're smart about it. So at the after hour events, and at the post event, festivities, San Diego, they'll do cruises a lot of time. The golf's a little harder, but if it's pickleball, everybody's standing around, they're rotating, work that room, continue to work that room. All right. If this doesn't come natural to you, and it may not, let me know. Things like this is what I help you do, help you network, help you sell, help you communicate your message, help you sort, sift, and separate the people that you meet. So selling becomes the obvious conclusion. Them buying from you becomes easy and obvious. Because my dirty little secret is I hate selling. I hate overcoming objections. I hate the traditional things that we think that we associate with selling. I don't do that. I don't do it. I don't teach it. It doesn't work. Yeah, it can work for a minute. Yeah, it can work to grind, but it's not a long-term sustainable way to grow. So if you need some help, check me out. I've got my Inner Circle. It's an ongoing program. I've got my 12 weeks to peak. Got different cohorts starting with that. I'll put some links below. But thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions on this. Post your comments, and I will elaborate as I can based on the questions that you have. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll go sell something.